Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviyam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om and good evening from Niagara Falls. I'd like for all of you to close your eyes for a moment. And as your eyes are closed, I want you to reflect on what is the most beneficial knowledge, the most beneficial insight that you have. What do you know that is most impactful? So think about that for a moment. Okay, you can open your eyes. And though I can't read your minds, I would presume that this most precious knowing is about things that are coming and things that are going. It could be about a company that's going to have a productive IPO. It could be about a certain illness. It could be about how someone feels about you. But all of that is coming and going. What you know today may not be as valuable 10 years from now, 100 years from now. Our rishis, they knew, they saw, they felt that which we cannot. They knew, they saw, they felt that which is not coming and going, but that which stays. And the English word for rishi is seer. Someone who can see, not with their eyes, but someone who can see with their intellect, that insight. The experience of our rishis has been documented. And these documentations, these documents are called shastras. In English, the word for shastra is science. And the specific science that we are beginning our study on is Atma Bodha. A synonym for Atma is Ananda. Atma means that which is closest. Ananda means that which is most joyful. They are synonyms. That which is closest to you is joy, which is why every breath we take is not for another person, as Sting and the Police would sing about. Every breath we take is for joy. Now you tell me, what knowledge could be more beneficial? What Bodha could be greater than that of Ananda? We are engaged in the study of happiness, the science of joy. And we are far from experiencing this independent joy, which is why Atma Bodha is known as a prakarana grantha. It is an introduction, this grantha is an introduction to our shastras. Our shastras like Bhagavad Gita. Our shastras like Mandukya Upanishad. This helps us to to warm up our muscles, warm up our mind to going deeper within ourselves. So this is a introductory text. And as we go about studying this, it's not introductory in a casual way. This text begins with a very powerful word. What was the first word of this text? Tapa. And what is the last word of this text? Amrita. Mrita means death. Mrita means fear. Amrita means to be forever. Amrita means to be fearless. So what is Atma Bodha introducing us to? That a life of tapa, a life of discipline, a life of purpose will lead us to fearlessness, will lead us to being forever, that independent joy. The first and last words are powerful, just like in Srimad Bhagavad Gita. What is the first word in Srimad Bhagavad Gita? Dharma. And the last word? Mama. My integration towards this fearlessness, towards forever. We began studying our Mangala Shloka, which was Shloka 1, which really shows us the path to being fearless, the path to being joyous. This Mangala Shloka is to be memorized. Okay? Memorizing is not encouraged in our culture. Now with a phone, we record everything, an audio recording, a text, and on and on and on. But keep this in your mind so that it can slowly start to filter to your heart, filter to your hands. So let us chant together the vision for this text, the reason why any of us should breathe, the reason why any of us should think, that is to be without ego. Tapo bhikshina papanam shantanam vitaraginam mumukshunam apekshoyam Atma Bodho vidhiyate. As we begin the second shloka, the second verse, how many of you have seen the Chinmaya Yuvakendra logo, the chick logo? How many of you have seen that? How many of you know what's written underneath that logo? It's a line from Srimad Bhagavad Gita, and it says, Nahi jnanena sadrisham pavitram iha vidyate. Nahi jnanena sadrisham means there is no comparison to knowledge. Pavitram iha vidyate, this knowledge is most purifying. And our second verse picks up on that. Please repeat after me. Bodhonya sadhanebhyo hi sakshan mokshaika sadhanam pakasya vannivajnanam vina moksho na siddhyati. We'll chant together now. Bodhonya sadhanebhyo hi sakshan mokshaika sadhanam pakasya vannivajnanam vina moksho na siddhyati. And you'll find in Acharya Shankara's Atma Bodha, the words are not too complicated. Bodha, knowledge. Anya, other. Sadhana, which I'll explain, he. Acharya Shankara says in the first line, he's comparing different sadhanas, and specifically the discipline of bodha, or knowledge. Okay? This naturally blends in with the second quarter, but I want to take this quarter by quarter so it's thorough for all of us. A sadhana, in English, equals means. So sadhana, the definition of sadhana is means, path, route. And if there's a means, there has to be a ends, right? There has to be a destination. There has to be where I'm following this path to. Sadhana, the definition of sadhana is means, and the sadhana leads you to the sadhya. Sadhya is the end. Sadhya is the destination. Now you tell me, what is the sadhya of your life? What is the purpose of why you breathe, why you think? And for those who are sensitive, it will be ananda, independent joy. All we do is for independent joy. So the sadhya is ananda, the sadhana, there's so many, but here Acharya Shankara is talking about Bodha, knowledge. And if you're invoking knowledge, you're allowed to call yourself a sadhaka. A sadhaka is someone who uses the sadhana. But if you don't use the sadhana, you can't be a sadhaka then, right? He continues in the second quarter. Sakshan. Sakshan means direct, sakshat, direct. Moksha, directly to freedom. Eka sadhana. Knowledge is the direct means to freedom. Acharya Shankara finishes the first quarter with the second quarter. I shall explain. To understand moksha or freedom, it is important to understand bandha or bondage. So let's think through this. What is one vice that the majority of people in the world suffer from? What vice do we all suffer from? We have lots. I'm asking for one. I know you'll get it right away. What vice? We're forgetful. That's a vice, yes. Attachment, fear, lazy. See, so many. Anger. Yes, the majority of us suffer from anger. Even Vyasa, who's not in the building right now, when he wakes up and we turn the light on because his eyes are sensitive to light, he gets angry. So we have to shield his eyes from that light before we turn it on. Now anger, when one is suffering from anger, one is bound, You can't think, you can't speak, you can't drive. But anger is just an effect. What is the cause for anger? Cause for anger, fear. Krodha comes from bhaya, fear. When one is afraid, again, one is stuck. I stayed at a family's home where they have bats in the basement. Not consciously, it happened that they have bats in the basement. And we once had bats in our basement, and I tried to catch it, and I couldn't move. Thankfully Sheila was over there, and she quickly tapped that bat into a bag, and we were able to release it. But I literally couldn't move. Fear. But fear is an effect also. What is the cause for fear? Attachment. When we're attached, we become afraid. Afraid that what we're attached to will go away. Someone else will come in. Something will come in. Attachment is an effect. What is the cause for attachment? Projection. And another word for that is expectation. We project, this will bring me joy. We project, this experience will bring me joy. So I get attached to it. Projection. Now, projection is also an effect. What is the cause for projection? Lack of knowledge, lack of discipline, incompleteness, or ignorance. Ignorance of where joy is makes me feel incomplete. So I start to project, I start to get attached, I start to be afraid, and this all manifests as anger. That's what bandha is. Is there anyone who's free from this equation? If your hand is up, You're lacking humility. You may be complete, but there's a lack of humility there. If we are sensitive to the suffering, we will take moksha more seriously. And here Acharya Shankara is saying, all we need is knowledge. And this knowledge is not to create joy, it is to rediscover joy. And the simple example that our rishis use, see, right now I'm wearing a mala, a Rudraksha mala. And suppose I'm at home and I'm coming to Chinmaya Dhara and I'm wearing my mala, but because I'm forgetful, I'm ignorant of the mala, I keep searching my room. Where is my mala? I tell Sheila, it's your fault. You took it, didn't you? And on and on and on. And Sheila says, hey, be cool. Just check your own neck. And I feel it. And I feel, oh yes, there's my mala. Did she create that mala for me? Did I have to buy that mala? All I needed was knowledge, correct? And that ignorance or that forgetfulness went away. And I get to enjoy wearing my mala. The same goes with our nature. Knowledge doesn't create our nature. Knowledge actually purges that forgetfulness. So it is direct. In the third quarter, Acharya Shankara brings a favorite pastime of people. What do people love to do? Food, correct? We love thinking about food. We love cooking food. Now people love taking pictures of their food and posting it on Facebook. And you know who's the biggest critic of that? Our acharyas. Our acharyas love. It's almost like how well they cook is how much they know Vedanta. Food, Acharya Shankara brings in, pakasya vannivat jnanam. To be able to cook, one needs vannihi, which is fire. And naturally the implication is, if one wants to be free, one will need knowledge, okay? That will come shortly. Now some people are thinking, but to cook you actually don't need fire. Here, this is a simple example, okay? Cooking here doesn't mean the, what did they call it? Not the dinosaur diet, the caveman diet, the paleo diet, you know, where you don't cook anything, you only eat raw foods. He's not referring to that. Acharya Shankara was an Indian. He was Bharatiya. We eat cooked food. If it's not cooked, then we don't call it food. Cereal is not a food in Bharatiya culture. So yes, you need to have vegetables, you need a knife, you need a cutting board, you need gas, correct. But really the cooking is determined by the fire in this simple example. So please don't misunderstand what Acharya Shankara is saying. He's not saying that you shouldn't serve, you shouldn't do puja, you shouldn't do japa, you shouldn't be in this course. We should respect purification. You know, our lifestyle helps us to prepare for the process of knowledge. See, if you're agitated right now and Acharya Shankara is saying you are Ananda, where is your mind? On what's agitating you, correct? So respect that which helps us to get to that knowledge. But what helps us get to the knowledge is not knowledge. He completes this thought in the fourth quarter, Vina moksho na siddhyati. Without this jnana, he's pulling this from the earlier quarter, moksha or freedom, na siddhyati, is not possible. If you memorize Srimad Bhagavad Gita, can you be enlightened? If you know what every verse of Srimad Bhagavad Gita means, can you be enlightened? If you live according to what Bhagavan Krishna teaches, can you be enlightened? Yes. This jnana, a different way to think about it is vijnana. Jnana is knowledge, then vijnana is wisdom. It's what you bring into your life. If we all lived according to Gita or according to this text, wouldn't we be free? Wouldn't we be more patient, more cheerful, and on and on and on? Of course. So if you're sensitive about bandha, you'll be inspired towards moksha, and we will prepare for knowledge. And just to wrap up this shloka, siddhya or siddha means to be accomplished, to be fulfilled. Without knowing your nature, you can never be accomplished. You can never be fulfilled. We will die and be born again in the same lack of fulfillment until we understand and appreciate fulfillment is not outside, but it is our nature. Bodha of Atma. Everyone's with me? We'll move to the third verse also, and you'll realize in the second verse, the first introduction to poetry has begun. Acharya Shankara has used the comparison of fire is required for cooking, like knowledge is required for wisdom. In almost every shloka, there is this poetry. My suggestion to all of you is that you start to write down all of this. And everything I suggest to you, I also do. I've already started my list of all of the comparisons, similes, analogies that Acharya Shankara uses. And don't just list them, but then analyze them also. The next time you warm up water for coffee, then analyze that if there was no fire, there couldn't be coffee. Coffee is moksha. So then that mundane experience becomes quite mystical. Please repeat after me. Avirodhati taya karma. Avirodhati ya karma. Na vidyam vinivartayet. Na vidyam vinivartayet. Vidya vidyam nihatyeva. Tejastimira sangavat. Tejastimira sangavat. Together. Avirodhataya karma. Na vidyam vinivartayet. Vidya vidyam nihatyeva. Tejastimira sangavat. Acharya Shankara says here, avirodhataya karma. That karma or action is not against, and here the given is incompleteness. The given is ajnana. Karma is the effect. What causes karma? What causes you to act? What makes you move? What makes you tick? Vritti, or thoughts. If you don't think it, you don't act it. Karma is the effect that causes vritti, or thoughts. Now tell me, vritti is an effect. What is the cause for vritti, or thoughts? Desires. In Sanskrit we say eshana. So actions come from thoughts come from desires. Where do desires come from? Because they're an effect also. They come from vasanas, or incompleteness. I'm incomplete, so I desire completeness. I think about what will make me complete, and then I act on it. So is karma going to make me complete? It's not. Karma is just an effect. He adds in the next quarter, na vidyam vinivartayet. Na avidya vinivartayet. Karma is not the opposite to ajnana. Actions will not cure us of incompleteness. Karma has a tendency to grow, doesn't it? How many of you, when you first moved to North America, lived with another family? You lived with another family when you moved to North America. For all of those in university, you had a roommate, okay? I have to make this contextual. Then after that, you lived in a semi-detached house, correct? Now, when you were in that semi-detached house, or when you weren't living with a roommate, was there more work or less work? When you had your detached house, when you decided to buy the apartment where your roommates will live in, more work or less work? There's more, no? Karma tends to grow. And that's why Bhagavan Krishna says, it shouldn't just be karma, it should be karma yoga. You should know why you're acting. That yoga stops us from being busy. Being busy is not a strength. We go around telling the world, I'm so busy. And we can't come up with a better descriptive word other than so. I'm so busy. I'm so hungry. I'm so mad. I'm so tired. Being busy is like someone saying, I'm a perfectionist. They're justifying their deficiency. But someone who's engaged in karma yoga, that keeps busyness away. They're driven, but not rattled. It's like a new car. You don't have to align the steering. It's already aligned. It's like we're creating our own analogies to Acharya Shankara's analogies. In the third quarter, he says, Vidya avidyam nihatyeva. That the opposite of avidya is vidya. The opposite of ignorance is knowledge. See, Vedanta doesn't focus on symptoms. Vedanta focuses on the source. Why are these symptoms there? Let's focus on that. And rare is the science that focuses on the subject. All of the sciences we study are on the objects, isn't it? Whether you're at Johns Hopkins or Case Western or the University of Maryland, you can go on and on. Whether you work for Pfizer or you work for some shipping company, it doesn't matter. We're engaged in objects. But Vedanta is a subjective science. If you go to Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Prince Arjuna, what is he suffering from? Is he suffering from an ability crisis? See, it was Karna who forgot what mantras to use for what shastras, correct? Arjuna was never cursed to be someone who forgot. He wasn't going through an ability crisis, he was going through an identity crisis. He forgot who he was. Did Bhagavan Krishna give him mantras? Here's how you shoot the Brahmastra. This is how you shoot the Pashupati Nath Astra. This is how you shoot this Astra. He taught him about who he is. Which is why when people come to me and say, Vedanta helps you be a better doctor, Vedanta helps you to be a better cleaner, Vedanta helps you to be a better driver, who cares? Why do you want to be a better this or that when you can be joy? But we're so objective that we only think about betterment as being a better professional, being a better family member, and on and on and on. That's still symptomatic. Finally, Acharya Shankara closes saying, Tejaha Timira Sangavat. The way that knowledge is the opposite to ignorance, Teja, brightness, light, is against deep darkness. It helps push away that blindness. What can remove darkness? Can you pay darkness to go away? When we walk into this ashram, then I show them a Guru Dakshina check. I show the darkness. Go away, darkness. Can you yell at darkness? When Vyasa wakes up and he's scared and he starts screaming, darkness, go away. Does the darkness go away? You can only make darkness go away with light. Yes? Such simple examples. And when that darkness meets light, can both be at the same place at the same time. They're mutually exclusive. If darkness is there, light can't be there. If light is there, darkness can. And that darkness doesn't go away in stages. It goes away right away. We turn the light on in this ashram. That darkness doesn't slowly, we have to wait and push that darkness out right away. This is resolved. Our challenge in life is ignorance. And the only opposite to ignorance is this knowledge. I'm ignorant about who I am, so I need knowledge about who I am. You've heard this word timira before. Anyone know where you've heard this word timira before? Yes, very good. In Guru Stotram, the second shloka, Ajnana timirandasya, that I am blind because of the darkness caused by ajnana. Blindness isn't physical here. It is blind to purpose. Jnana ajnana, that knowledge helps us to push out that purposelessness. And then chakshuhu unmilita. Then my eyes open to who I am, what I can be. I can be the source of my own joy. Oh.